Say hi, everyone. I hope you are all having an awesome day so far. My name is Stephanie. This is Alexis.
Apple.
Where's Alexis? Yeah. And you have found Get Well with Me. What I'm doing is I'm going through different nutritional lifestyle choices, things like paleo, vegan, trying them out, seeing how I feel on each of them, seeing what my blood work's like on each of them, and doing research on them as I am on them, and bringing all of that to you guys. This is all being done in the effort to help clear up some of the contradictory crap out there regarding what we should and should not be eating. You could get 10 different books on nutrition, and each one of them is going to tell you completely different things about what we should and should not be eating. And that's ridiculous, right? Got to be able to cut through that crap and find the truth a little bit. At least as close as we can get to the truth, given what the studies are telling us these days. So today's video is a little bit of an interlude because I'm going to have to unfortunately take a bit of an interlude from this nutritional experiment, just in one respect, my weight loss numbers. Because I really messed up. And I'll explain why. We live in an awesome, amazing age. These days, we've got cures and treatments for all manner of illnesses and injuries. And thanks to vaccines, we have almost completely eradicated diseases that used to kill us by the wooden truckload. Science has done all that for us. I love science. 2 thumbs up for science. But just because we can treat something with pills doesn't mean we always should. The answer most of the time is yes, absolutely. But not always. Taking too many pills is usually a bad thing, for example, as you can end up with all kinds of side effects and drug interactions. Taking too many prescription painkillers can actually cause your pain to physically increase. Ridiculous. A huge problem can come into play if you have been prescribed different medications by different doctors. If they don't realize or ask the other medications that you're on, then they can prescribe you something that causes a drug interaction. For example, your primary care manager has you on something for your cholesterol. You go to the podiatrist because your foot starts hurting and he prescribes you something. Well, this drug might interact badly with this drug and cause a drug interaction. This one could cause this one to not work as well. This one could cause this one to not work as well. They could mash up and do all kinds of weird things and just wreak havoc inside your body. Sometimes they do all kinds of weird stuff. So, drug interactions, not good. So other problems can come into play when you see different specialist doctors as well, including what's happening with me right now. Those of you that follow my blog or here on YouTube may remember that a couple weeks back, I told you that I was taking low-dose antibiotics for a skin condition I have called rosacea. It was affecting my digestion and just making me feel crummy. So I took a bunch of probiotics, started feeling a little bit better for sure. Then I drank some kombuchas. And these bad boys, oh my goodness, that was a lifesaver. There's all kinds of different brands out there. Just make sure that you look at the sugars on them and make sure that they're not too high. If you're paleo and you can't have yogurt, kombucha is your friend. And I would argue that these are actually better than yogurt for helping heal your gut bacteria. At least it was for me, or it felt like it was. I immediately just felt this loosening and just in my gut after having one of these. I just immediately started feeling better. It was awesome. So I started feeling better. But now it's been almost 3 weeks since I've lost any weight on this paleo diet, and my stomach has started to feel worse again. I was losing 2 pounds a week like clockwork for the first 2 months on paleo, and then it stopped. Now, maybe this is just a coincidence. Maybe it is just a plateau. Maybe my body's just adjusting to the paleo. Who knows? But if it is, the timing of it is mighty suspicious because it lined up perfectly with my digestion issues. And there's other reasons to believe that it may have something to do with the antibiotics too, which I will get to in a little bit. The point is, I have no way of knowing for sure whether or not these bad boys are affecting my experiment anymore. So what I'm going to do is cut off after the first 2 months of paleo the statistics as far as how much weight I lost per week, and ignore this third month. I'm going to keep eating paleo, and I'm going to keep reviewing, and I'm going to keep bringing things to you. But I'm no longer going to keep track of my weight for this portion of the nutritional experiment. I apologize, by the way, for the timing for this unfortunate set of circumstances. I've had rosacea most of my adult life, and I have been dealing with the acne-like breakouts for years and years. Topical ointments either don't work for me or I'm allergic to them. If my makeup just happens to come off a little bit while I'm working out, my face looking like beet red and people looking at me like I'm about to keel over at any moment. So yeah, I wanted to avoid that and try to fix things. So I thought, why not? Low dose antibiotics, good idea, right? No, I don't think it was. In fact, I would argue now that it was downright foolish of me. I know the dangers of antibiotics and their overuse, but I figured these are low dose antibiotics, right? Surely that doesn't affect your gut bacteria. Surely it's not that bad, or else doctors wouldn't prescribe them for something as simple and harmless as a skin condition. See? Foolish, right? Is a dermatologist going to give you antibiotics for a skin condition that you went to ask him for help with? Absolutely they are. His job is not to make sure that your gut microbiome is in the best condition that it could be. His job is not your gut health. His job is not your overall health at all. His job is to clear up the skin condition that you went to him to see him about. Does it mess with your gut bacteria? Absolutely, you betcha. A good dermatologist may warn you about it. Other dermatologists are going to assume that you know the dangers of antibiotics, even if they are low-dose antibiotics. And yet still other doctors are going to think, hey, they probably will just read that nice, huge 3 or 4 page booklet that they get alongside their prescription from the pharmacist, right? Do you read those? So now I'm doing my research. Too little, too late, right? I know. According to a study published in Nature Microbiology, your gut bacteria, or in this case, my gut bacteria, will slowly recover over 6 months after taking antibiotics. But even at the end of that period, you still may be missing up to 9 beneficial bacteria, which may be permanently eradicated from your gut microbiome. Permanently. Unless you get a fecal transplant, which, we're just not even going to get into. So sure, in this study, they were given some mighty heavy antibiotics. But the study also suggests that multiple courses of antibiotics over your lifetime may have the same effect. Who doesn't take multiple courses of antibiotics over their life? Most people do. And here I am taking them so that I can make my skin smoother and less red. So yeah, I'm going to stop taking the antibiotics now, low dose or not. Actually, I already have stopped taking them. As if all that weren't enough, one study done on mice showed that those that were exposed to antibiotics gained twice as much weight as other mice that were on the same diet that were not exposed to antibiotics. So this is what seems to strongly suggest to me that these antibiotics may have physically interfered with my weight loss. Another study says that antibiotics make you feel hungrier. They have a significant impact on the hunger hormone ghrelin. So I may have inadvertently eaten more than I had been previously. I'm not limiting my calories on paleo. It satiates you so well that you're not meant to need to track calories. You just eat until you're satisfied. So my natural capacity to judge when I'm satisfied may have been compromised by taking these pills, and I may have eaten more. So then I went and looked up, hey, barring all of this, how often was I going to have to take these in order to help keep my skin clear? I did have a hard time finding how often you might have to take a course of these to help keep your skin clear. But it was clear that many people were taking them for the very long term. Some 6 months, some people years. One woman said that she had been taking antibiotics for 5 years for her acne, because each time she got off of the pills, her acne came back. So when she finally did stop taking them because she started thinking, hey, this can't be good for me, right? The acne returned, and worse than it had ever been in her entire life. So not a good case for taking these. I mean, maybe that was an extraordinary case. I don't know. I don't care. I'm not going to take them. Now again, just in case all that wasn't enough of a reason to stop getting prescribed these for skin conditions, there is, of course, the issue of creating superbugs. Taking too many antibiotics overall, period, can help create superbugs. I may have slightly contributed to the issue of superbugs by taking these. Me not finishing these, though, is, by the way, not the same thing as you not finishing a course of antibiotics that were given to you by your doctor for something more serious. If you had an infection, for example, and you started taking antibiotics and you started feeling better, and you're like, oh, I'm just not going to finish these because, Stephanie said this might mess with my gut bacteria. First of all, leave me out of it. Secondly, you need to finish them. That's not the same thing as what I'm doing here. What I'm doing here was supposed to be a long-term usage of these. It's not clearing up some really harmful bacteria that may mutate and become a superbug in the future because I didn't finish this course of antibiotics, which is what you would be doing if you didn't finish yours. So yeah, not the same thing. I am not contributing to superbugs by not finishing taking this course. I may have contributed to superbugs by taking it to begin with. Apparently the FDA has recently approved a topical form of antibiotics for acne, which is the same thing I would take for my rosacea. And it should be available for prescription in the early 2020, January or February. Clinical trials so far have not found any huge side effects. Some small side effects like headaches in like 3% of the people, which isn't that much. But, new drugs, even topical ones, are scary in their own right until they've been out for a while and you know how people react to them. You see these commercials by lawyers on TV where they're like, if you took this drug from this such and such a time to such and such a time, you may be entitled to compensation. And it's because it caused all these harmful side effects, or, they made it so that you couldn't have babies or something. So yeah, I think I'm going to stay away from that topical medicine too. All this over a skin condition that I had been living with and dealing with just fine for many years. Now, if I could find a non-antibiotic topical cream that would work, sure, that would be wonderful. But otherwise, I think I'm just going to wear makeup. So those of you following my nutritional experiment, here's what's up. I'm going to stay paleo through the end of the year. I'm going to focus on foods that aid digestion and help repopulate my gut bacteria as fast as possible. I do recognize it's not going to be 100% by January 1st, but it will be a lot better than it is now, and I should be well enough to continue my experiment, I think. I will finish presenting my research to you guys. I'm doing the Practical Paleo meal plan right now. In fact, I'm going to switch over to the digestive health plan within that book and see if that helps. And I'm also going to focus on a couple of other side articles that I have been inspired to write regarding other topics within the wellness spectrum. Then, starting January 1st, keto. I know, it's not really a lifetime nutritional approach. I can't see anybody being on keto for the rest of their life. I can't see not eating fruits for the rest of your life. That is ridiculous. Maybe alternating between a paleo and keto thing. But I'm really eager to do some research on keto because it's got a lot of similarities to paleo in the low carb, high meat department, where they're like, is it going to, wreak havoc with your cholesterol? And I really want to delve deeper into that research. So that's one of the reasons I'm switching to keto. But also because it's just so darn hot right now. Everybody's trying it and losing a whole bunch of weight. I figure it will help kick my weight loss back into gear. And I also really want to see what my blood work looks like on it as well. So paleo blood work will be coming to you very shortly. I got it done today. Should have results within the next week or so. And we'll see if it helped my cholesterol like it was supposed to. In the meantime, if you are kind of going through the same thing as me, antibiotics-wise, and you're trying to repopulate your gut bacteria as fast as possible, I will be putting some links in the video description that will help you to know, the difference between prebiotics and probiotics, what kinds of things you should be eating in order to help fix your gut microbiome as fast as you can. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a good day.